A child was born in the core of eastern Nigeria, where traditional customs gave complex shadow and shaped individual destinies. Nevertheless, her arrival was received with fear rather than happiness. She was abandoned by the people who ought to have loved her, labeled a witch, and left in the harsh hands of fate. However, destiny had other plans for her. This is Mmachi's story, one of rejection, perseverance, and an unwavering spirit that will overcome decades of ignorance and fear. It was on a hot February night. Ikenna and Ada, the two lovebirds, had just stepped out from their hut to enjoy the cool evening night breeze when suddenly Ada's water broke. Running as fast as his legs could carry him, Ikenna ran to fetch the midwife. "Push, Ada! Push! You're almost there. I can see a baby's head, Ada. Push!" Ada screams and pushed with the last of her strength. "It's a girl, a baby girl," the midwife announces with joy. Turning towards Ada and realizing she was fast slumping into unconsciousness, tries to help her out, but to no avail. She was gone. Ada's life was the price of her daughter's birth. Her husband, Ikenna, was shattered. He stumbled into the night, slouching his head, his cries echoing in the stillness. "Why, Ada? Why did you have to leave me? Just some minutes ago we were out there. You were very healthy. How could you die?" Tears rolling down his eyes. He had just lost his beloved wife. "Ikenna, you must name her." "She is your daughter," Mama said, Ikenna's aged mother. Ikenna looks at the child with a mix of pain and anger. "Mmachi, beauty of the god, even if I cannot see it now," he called her. Mmachi was a name Ada and Ikenna had planned on giving their child if she was a girl. Mmachi's name bore hope, but her father's heart was closed to her. Ikenna's grief had turned into resentment. He avoided Mmachi, leaving her to Mama's care. Tales of Ada's death and how the baby survived spread round the village like wildfire. The tender, innocent child, whom the heavens have given a chance to live, is now perceived as a bad omen. The villagers named her a witch child. But Mama loved her. Mama loved the little one dearly and did all her best to provide her with everything. Years pass. Mmachi, now 8 and Mama delicate and weak, had been lying on the mat taking her nap, or so Mmachi thought. Less did she know that her much-loved grandmother had gone to be with her maker peacefully as she slept. Just this morning, Mmachi and Mama had breakfast together before she set to do her chores, not realizing that this day would mark the beginning of her suffering. Mama, Mmachi shakes her grandmother up, trying to wake her. On realizing what had happened, she screamed and the villagers drew near. "Another death? This girl, she is cursed," one of the villagers say. "She is indeed a cursed child." "A witch," says another. Let us cast her out of this village. She does not belong here. Ikenna, on realizing what had happened, stares in disbelief, wondering if his own seed had also taken his mother's life. With Mama's passing, the villagers' fears turned into cruelty. Mmachi was cast out of her own father's house. Her father, silent amidst the accusation. A group of men and women drive Mmachi away from the village with sticks. First, her mother, now her grandmother. She is a witch, a villager said. Stay away, you witch. You won't take another life here, another said. Alone and scared, cast out, labeled as witch, Mmachi became a child of the wilderness. She found refuge in the forest, building a small hut with branches. Alone and terrified, Mmachi fought to survive. Yet, in the darkness of despair, a glimmer of kindness emerged. Not everyone believed in the superstitions of Mmachi being a witch. A kind hunter, Nnamdi, saw the innocent child for whom she truly was, offering silent support to the abandoned girl. Nnamdi would leave piles of food, water, and clothing beside Mmachi's hut each time he came to hunt. One day, a white tourist named Mr. James arrived in the village. Curious about its culture and traditions, Mmachi's fate was met with a ray of hope following the arrival of the white tourist. The villagers show him around, eagerly sharing stories. And there is this witch girl in the forest. She killed her mother and grandmother, one of the villagers said to him. A girl? Living alone? A witch? I must see her, Mr. James says. Take me to the witch girl. James finds Mmachi in her hut, weak and malnourished. He kneeled before the little girl, tears in his eyes. My dear, you do not belong here, he said. You must come with me. Mmachi's life took a turn as Mr. James and his family nourished her back to health. Mr. James and his family were missionaries who lived in town with his beautiful family. His wife, Lillian, welcomed the homeless girl and gave her a space in her heart. Together, they nurtured Mmachi back to life. She was a good girl and a blessing to them. For the first time in years, she felt loved without conditions. She felt human.
If you enjoy captivating, suspenseful, and thoughtful-provoking stories, you are in the right place. Don't just watch, be part of the journey. Click the subscribe button, enable notification, and leave a comment to share your thoughts. Your support helps us bring more powerful stories to life. Stories have the ability to transport us and to connect us in ways we can't imagine. On this channel, we bring history to life, uncover deep mysteries, and tell emotional tales that keep you at the edge of your seat. So, journey with us. Thank you.
Mmachi, now a fine young woman, never forgot where she came from or the circumstances that surrounded her birth. Made it a point to find out what exactly happened to her mother, and also why she was labeled a witch. Luckily, the midwife whom had helped deliver her was still alive. Now grown, she gathered courage to ask her questions. Mmachi, with the help of her adopted family, traveled back home to satisfy her curiosity. Mama, I am sure you remember me, the witch girl, who was cast out of the village. It's been many years, but now I love to know what you remember about my birth. Mmachi asked the midwife. Child, just like yesterday, I remember. I remember it all. I can even see your mother's face as we speak. It happened that she had gone into labor earlier than presumed. Her water had broken forcefully, and you were not ready to come forth. She was so weak before I arrived, and she begged that we save her child's life, for you were her first seed. This village has no hospital, my child. It's mostly women who would help other women during delivery. Your mother wanted you to live. You are no witch. Tearfully, with tears rolling down Mmachi's eyes, she died because no one helped her, and not because of me. The people in authority have been so blinded by power that they have refused to put up a hospital in the village. Determined to spare other women pain, Mmachi returned to the village armed with knowledge and compassion. Mmachi speaks to a group of women about maternal care, letting them know why it is important, and with the help of her adopted father, James, the missionary built the first hospital in her village. Mmachi, now a strong, educated young woman. The pain of her past no longer defined her, it fueled her purpose. With the unwavering support of her adopted family, she pursued a career in medicine, specializing in maternal and child health. But even as she built a life, one thought never left her mind: the village that had cast her out and still lived in ignorance and fear. Determined to break the cycle, Mmachi returned to the place where her story began. Not as the helpless girl they had abandoned, but as a beacon of knowledge and change. No mother should be blamed for the loss of a child, she told them. And no child should equally carry the weight of a tragedy they did not cause. Birth and death are in the hands of fate, not witches, not spirits. The villagers listened, their faces shifting between shame and understanding. Some shook their heads, remembering the cruelty they had inflicted on an innocent child. Others, especially the women, crouched their own children closer, realizing now how they had lived for many years in lust and in blinded superstition. Mmachi did not seek revenge. She sought transformation. She introduced programs on antenatal care, teaching expectant mothers about proper nutrition, hygiene, and medical support during pregnancies. She partnered with doctors to bring better health care to the village, ensuring that no woman or child would suffer simply because of ignorance. Over time, the village changed. The whispers of curses and witches faded, replaced by the voices of mothers learning how to support their children and fathers understanding the true nature of life and losses. Mmachi had not only reclaimed her past, she had rewritten the future for generations to come. And as she walked through the village one last time, no longer an outcast, but a survivor, she knew she had found her true purpose. She was never a curse. She was a blessing.
If you enjoy captivating, suspenseful, and thoughtful-provoking stories, you are in the right place. Don't just watch, be part of the journey. Click the subscribe button, enable notification, and leave a comment to share your thoughts. Your support helps us bring more powerful stories to life. Stories have the ability to transport us and to connect us in ways we can't imagine. On this channel, we bring history to life, uncover deep mysteries, and tell emotional tales that keep you at the edge of your seat. So, journey with us. Thank you.